On the 13th of August 2014, the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, held its 10th meeting to consider various issues and draft royal acts being presented to the meeting. And these are some of the presented issues that the NCPO has given the approval or decision on. The first one is regarding the World Soil Day 2015, which is to take place on the 5th of December 2015, and also the launch of the first International Soil Year in 2015. The NCPO has given an approval to the proposal of the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives of the principle in the conducting of activities of the World Soil Day for the fiscal year 2015, of which the Department of Soil Development has already allocated a budget of 15.3 million baht for. The NCPO also gave permission for the Department of Soil Development to organize the activities of the World Soil Day, 5th of December every year. The background to this proposal is that in 2015, executive committee members of the International Union of Soil Sciences, or IUSS, were granted an audience with His Majesty the King, and on that occasion the committee of the IUSS presented His Majesty with the first Humanitarian Soil Scientist Award as a tribute to His Majesty the King on his work in the soil development, and had humbly requested His Majesty's approval in designating the 5th of December, His Majesty's birthday, each year as the World Soil Day. The Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives viewed that Thailand should begin to officially celebrate His Majesty the King as the first recipient of the Humanitarian Soil Scientist Award and the first World Soil Day on the 5th of December 2014, with outstanding events in commemoration of His Majesty's royal mission in the development of water sources, forest, soil and agriculture. The Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, of the United Nations also requested Thailand to present the details of the activities in celebration of the World Soil Day to the second plenary assembly of Global Soil Partnership, which was held in Rome in July 2014, and the 68th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations had also designated 2015 as the first International Soil Year, with its launch being held during the 69th session of the General Assembly of the United Nations in New York. Therefore, the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives had to seek urgent approval from the NCPO to undertake the planned celebrative activities. These include activities to be held abroad, namely academic exhibition on the soil sciences and the royal ingenuity of His Majesty the King in the management of soil, the special lecture on the management of natural resources and environment of the sample areas, and the expansion of the royally initiated projects in the development of agricultural lands. As for the intra-country activities, the Ministry has planned to arrange academic exhibitions on soil and the royal ingenuity of His Majesty the King in the management of soil, the seminars and conferences on the adjustment and development of soil at the national and international levels, including the ASEAN member countries and FAO member countries, the booth exhibitions, agriculture clinics, academic activities on soil, the presentation of academic innovation on soil sciences and land development, the publication of knowledge on soil in Thai and English languages, contests on academic work on soil, and academic quiz on this topic, the sale of inexpensive agricultural goods, and the lighting ceremony in celebration on the auspicious occasion of His Majesty the King's 87th birthday anniversary will also be held during that period of time. As for the activities to be carried out during the International Year of Soil 2015, the NCPO had given approval to the Department of Soil Development to host such events with the set budget of 48.96 million baht, as well as the initial seed money of $100,000 or about 3.3 million baht for the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, or FAO, in the mobilization of the operations during the International Year of Soil 2015. Such activities during the year 2015 will include the hosting of International Academic Conference on the realization of the soil management for the production of food crops and energy crops in a sustainable way, other international academic conferences, the exhibition or as a tribute to His Majesty the King, and the sample project on the management of soil according to the royal initiation. Other activities also involve the development of the soil doctor course at the regional level, ASEAN level, and international level to promote the academic assistance, operation labs for ASEAN, FAO, and UN member countries that have been affected by soil degradation, the production of knowledge base in the form of media of various kinds to offer the information on soil management to the general public and the whole world. The other issue being considered by the NCPO on the 13th of August 2014 was the draft regulation of the Office of the Prime Minister on the coordination in the operation according to the Royal Act of the Prevention and Suppression of Money Laundering BE 2542. The NCPO gave its approval to the draft regulation of the Office of the Prime Minister on the coordination in the operation according to the Royal Act of the Prevention and Suppression of Money Laundering BE 2542 as proposed by the Law and Justice Process Cluster of NCPO. This is the result of the adjustment of the existing regulation of the Office of the Prime Minister concerning the said issue, so that the coordination for the operation to be in accordance with the law can achieve great efficiency. This would designate the state's agencies to report information related to basic wrongdoing, for example, narcotic drug offense, sex offense, embezzlement, and offense related to the official's conduct or money laundering offense to the Anti-Money Laundering Office. The amended regulation will give more power to the officials in the coordination for the operation to be in accordance with the regulation. This is also in accordance with the NCPO's policy in cutting the loop of crimes and promotes the enforcement of laws so that it may be carried out in an orderly, fast, and efficient way. The NCPO had also approved the draft Royal Act on the protection of children born by medical-assisted reproductive technology as proposed by the Ministry of Social Development and Human Security and revised by the Council of State. This draft Royal Act was initially proposed to the Cabinet on the 11th of May 2010 that had already been considered by the Council of State and the approval was given. The draft was then sent to the Committee on the Coordination on Legislative Matters to consider prior to being forwarded to the House of Representatives. However, the House was dissolved and the draft Royal Act was then dropped. So today the NCPO had considered this draft Royal Act again, and the essence of the draft Royal Act is that to designate a committee to protect children that are born by medical reproductive assisting technology, determine its power and role, duration of the term of membership of the committee, the structure of the committee, and the power of the committee to appoint subcommittees. 2 is to designate the artificial insemination to be carried out only on a woman who has a legally married husband, and the artificial insemination that uses donor sperm must receive written consent from legally married husband and wife that are legally entitled to request for artificial insemination. Thirdly, the methods for surrogacy are designated to be in 2 conditions. 1, the use of embryo that results from sperm and egg of legally married husband and wife who want surrogacy carried out. And 2, the use of embryo that results from sperm or egg belonging to a husband or wife who are legally married, who want surrogacy carried out using other person's sperm or egg. Fourthly, to designate rules and regulations regarding the storage, receipt of donation, and the utilization of sperm, egg, or embryo that is received for storage or from donation as a result of the use of medical-assisted reproductive technology, or the destruction of the embryo that is received for storage or from donation. And fifthly, to designate the prohibition of the utilization of sperm, egg, or embryo that is received for storage in the case of the owner of the sperm, egg, or embryo has died, with exception in the case of the owner of such sperm, egg, and embryo, has given a written consent prior to his or her death, and only because there is a need to use the sperm, egg, or embryo for the treatment of infertility of the husband or wife who still lives.